Hi there. Thank you for joining us. This is Morgan at Splendid.yoga. Grab your ball. So, if you have a tennis ball, that totally works. I use this ball. This is a Tune Up Fitness Alpha Ball. It's a little bit bigger than a tennis ball, and it has more density, but it's also got just enough give that it can dig right into some really juicy stuff. So, we're going to work on our hips today. You're going to start laying on your back. Supine. Take your ball and place it underneath your right butt cheek. Anywhere in there. Yeah, keep your feet on the ground and then roll around. Kind of swivel your hips from side to side. Yeah, and then take your right leg and butterfly it, open and closed. Yeah. And then roll it around like imagine if it was a crayon, like you'd be coloring in your entire cheek, all the way from the side of your hip to your crack, to the middle of your back, all the way from your sacrum to your iliac crest. And then find a spot. And I know there are like a million spots back there. There's a lot going on. Find the one that feels bearable, right? Not like the sharpest pain. It's something that feels like it's like, yeah, that's gonna get you opened up in the next few minutes. So land in a spot and then extend your right leg towards the end of your mat. So the left leg is bent, but the right knee is straight. And then let it just kind of flop somewhere in some direction. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you could take the butterfly legs, either with one or both legs, that right leg flopped off to the side, and the left leg stays pointed up, or it can flop to the side as well. Usually it's more stable to keep it up. And melt right down. All right, now squeeze your butt cheek. That right butt, just the right one. Can you do it? Just the right one. Squeeze it against the ball and then release it and squeeze it. Release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Squeeze more. Now let it go. Oh, all right. Can you let go another layer? Good job. Really let yourself melt down. Just another few beats here. All right, now let's roll onto your right side. Take the ball with you, keep it underneath you, and get it on the side of that hip. Almost towards the front, almost towards the anterior side. You want it kind of nestled into the front pocket of that right hip. A little muscle called the tensor fasciae latae, the TFL more commonly. It's pretty tiny, but we use it a lot because we sit a lot. I mean, even if you're moving, you're running, you're riding your bike, you're using your TFL. Often we overuse it instead of using your glutes, your butt. You use this little guy. So he's probably pretty tight. So set yourself up so you're balanced here. Up on your right forearm, but with your whole weight on that right hip on top of the ball. And then set up your left leg, probably like foot on the ground behind you. And you're going to do some bicycles with that right leg. Oh, yeah. All right. So you got to go forward a few times, really nestle it in, and then go backwards a few times. Yeah, this is pretty juicy. So keep breathing. Big exhales, especially when you hit something pretty juicy. Yeah. Just a few more turns here. Forward. A few more turns back. All right, TFL, that's enough of you. Let's roll onto your belly. With that ball, now it's kind of on the front of your hip, kind of right underneath that really bony part. It's called your ASes, your anterior, superior, iliac spine. So anterior, that means it's in the front. Superior, that means it's on top, it's above. Iliac, that's the name of this part of your hip, the bone. And then the spine, that's the bony protrusion, the feature. So you want to get right up underneath there. And this is kind of where your quads connect, right up there. We call them the vastus sisters, right? Okay, so your quadriceps, there's 4 of them, right? That's why we call them the quads. And 3 of them connect right up here. So it's a pretty juicy point. The interesting thing about the human body is in order to relax the muscle, you don't have to deal with the whole muscle. If you deal with the connection point, like the tendon or the ligament, you can actually relax the entire muscle just by digging into this guy. And it doesn't have to be like brutal. This doesn't have to be punishment, right? Like using a hard ball. This is for the people who love deep tissue massage. If this does not feel good, you can use a much softer ball. Tune Up Fitness makes one called the Gorgeous Ball. It's much softer. But if you have like a bar ball, that's the same thing. Okay, now I want you to crawl forward a bit or just reach down and push the ball back until it's somewhere into a pretty juicy part of your quad. So you can kind of roll up and down the length of those muscles along the front of your thigh until you find like, oh yeah, there's usually like a little knot somewhere in there, a bit of a stopping point. Okay, so find that point, land on top of it, and then flex your right knee. Bend your knee so your foot comes up to the sky, and then extend it. Set your toes on the ground, and then flex it and extend it, and flex it and extend it. Good. Just a few more times. All right. Take that ball, place it in your hands, and roll onto your back. And just take a moment to lay flat on your back and feel all that stuff moving around. All right, you just broke up some scar tissue. You just told your muscles, hey, it's time to relax. You got to knock it off. So your body's going to be like swooping in there to kind of clean all that stuff up, to sweep it out, like the cleaning crews the day after Halloween. Just kind of let that happen, but notice it. Notice that sensation. Should feel pretty good. Pretty sweet release. All right, let's take this on the other side. So you've got your ball still, right? Let's go ahead and place it underneath that left cheek. So place your right foot on the ground for stability and then roll around just a little bit around that cheek, kind of see what's lighting up. And then you're going to butterfly that left leg. So you set that left foot on the ground and you open the knee off to the side and then you bring it back in and then you open it up and you bring it back in. And roll around the entirety of the cheek. Like if you were highlighting, you'd be all colored in by that ball in the next minute or so. It should feel good. Let it feel good. All right, now land in a spot. Find that spot, get up in there, and then let your body melt around it. So maybe that left leg straight, maybe both legs straight, maybe both legs bent, but something where most of you can become heavy and relaxed. All right, let's move on to your side. We'll look for that TFL. So you'll roll onto your left side, prop yourself up on your left forearm. Set your right leg up behind you, somewhere it feels stable. And then roll around on that ball until you kind of nestle right into that TFL zone, kind of on the lateral side of the as is. Oh man, all these anatomical terms. Do you remember that one? That was the top of your hip, the bony part. So if you can dig into, like if you were wearing tight jeans and you put your hand in your pocket, like right there, that's your TFL. So you want to find that little spot, and then the bicycles. You're going to keep going forward for like, 3, 5 pedals, and then you got to go backwards. And then keep going. Forwards a few times, backwards a few times. And if you find a good spot, you can try to relax around it. But it's pretty hard on this side. Okay. Let's roll on to your front now for the quad. So you'll come into the kind of a sphinx position with your forearms underneath you, and then get that ball underneath that left quad, and then pull yourself forward and back, or you can curl your back toes and flex and extend your ankles to kind of roll around that quad until you find that spot where things are kind of stuck. Oh, there might be a bunch of them. You just find one. And then flex and extend your left knee. Just kind of hug that spot. All right. Take that ball, place it off to the side. You can let it roll away and roll onto your back. Gather your right knee into your chest and give it a good squeeze. And you've got some options from here. We're going to move into a twist eventually, so you can bring that right leg over to the left if you'd like. It just lands there. If you'd like to keep working on these hips, you're going to gather your leg into your chest with your elbows hooked around the calf, almost like you're doing a pigeon on your back. If you need some more, you can cradle your leg like a baby so your elbows hook into the knee and the foot. And rock side to side. And take the half happy baby, reach through the inside of your knee, grab the outside of your foot, and then rock it open wide. Really let it hang. All right, now's your twist. Send your right leg over to the left. And slowly untwist. Gather both knees into your chest. Extend your right leg long. Keep your left leg hugged in. Give it a good squeeze. Yeah, so you've got the twist coming. But if you want to keep working in the hip, you hook your elbows underneath the calf. Cradle the leg like a baby. One or the other. You can rock side to side. Relax your head. All right. Then the half happy baby, reach through the inside of your leg to grab the outside of your foot and open that leg way off to the side. Let it become heavy. And take your twist. Slowly uncoil, roll onto your back. Send your legs out long. Relax your body down. Shavasana. Hang out here just as long as it needs to until your body feels easy, relaxed. Namaste.